Hi everyone, and thank you for joining us in the third video of Microsoft Entra API-driven user provisioning. In this video, we are going to first complete the task that's remained from the previous video for the driving license and update that in the Active Directory. And after that, we will work on the expression builder. Expression builder will help us to update the attribute. For example, for mail, probably our company policy, it is like first name dot last name at domain name. But the out of the box rule, it is the username at default name, which is company name dot on microsoft.com, or for UPN as well. Then we will work on the attribute mapping, and to map this help us to just map other attributes inside the Active Directory and Entra ID. And then the last one, it is about the scope. For example, we want to, our company, it is in different countries, and we want to use another platform to provision users in Australia. It is different from user in USA, or different department or contractor are different from the permanent stuff. So we need to set the scope that to make sure that our API just provision or update the user that it is in our scope, not out of our scope, not for everyone, even if we made a mistake and export the wrong user. Alright, let's start, and thank you for watching. So let's complete the last task from the previous video. Let's first check the CSV file from our HR, check the license number. This is a license number for the user. Let's run the script again. So scripts run, finish, and check the Active Directory, refresh the Active Directory, check the user, and go to properties, attribute editor, and check the driving license attribute. Yep, you can see driving license has been updated. It is same as the CSV file, so this shows scripts running correctly, and this will take 30 minutes. It's up to your AD Connect sync cycle. Usually it is 30 minutes. So in 30 minutes, this will be synced to Entra ID. So let's check the audit log for the user. As you can see, driving license, it shows it has been updated. It's a modified properties, and it has been updated from the API to Active Directory on-prem, and AD Connect will sync it to Entra ID. In the previous video, we show how to update the AD Connect rules to sync the new attributes to Entra ID. So let's check the mapping. This is for our attributes, updating the attributes. So if we are not happy with out of the box attribute like mail, which is username at default domain usually it is on Microsoft, your domain dot on microsoft.com. So how to edit these attributes, update them, follow our company standard. For example, let's check one of the users. For this user, you can see the email address, it is the ID, or the UPN, it is the ID at domain.microsoft.com, which is not favorable. So we need to update this something that it follow our company standard. So what we should do. So to do this, we need to go to Entra ID attribute mapping and check the attributes that we want to update. So in this example, let's update the mail. This is out of the box rules, but we want to update it. Let's go to expression builder. So we don't like this because it's not follow our standard. So default name it is domain@microsoft.com. Let's add this one. I will share the Microsoft guide to how to build these expressions. So I append given name, append dot, append family name, and append our domain name. So I miss @ in here. We will back to this expression when applied. So we need to apply expression and then use then open the expression builder for a second time, and right now we can check the attribute name. So type first name in here and last name in here. So when we test expression, it shows first name, last name, or domain name. As I said, there is @ has been missed in here. So let's go run the script and see the error message. I will use same things for our UPN or user principal name. So as you can see, this is the domain that we have in our organization right now that we can choose between them. We need to add our domain name in here. So how to add our domain? So let's open the domain and trust, Active Directory domain and trust properties in here, and add the UPN, our new UPN in here. Okay, let me paste it. Oops, let's paste the expression builder. So I remove the character. So this is a domain that we want to add. So let's go back to Active Directory again, close it, and reopen it again. And properties on the user account, and right now the new domain has been added. So I don't touch it. So let's script update this for us. Let's run the script and update this for us. So I'm updating the UPN as well to this one. Again, @ has been missed. And one more thing that I need to add in here for UPN and mail, it's only update during object creation. We need to change this to always. So always, it means that every time the user change first name, last name, domain name, this will update the UPN and mail. So let's save it. Restart provisioning. All right, that's good. And let's go and run the script again. All right. This is our script. Run. And it's finished. Let's go back to Active Directory, refresh it, and check the user. As you can see, mail didn't update, and UPN, it's something strange, as I missed the @ in here. So I added the @ to mail and UPN. expression builder, so and change it to always. So this should be okay, and can run the script again and make sure our user received a new email and UPN follow the company standard. So let's run the script again. And check the Active Directory. As always, refresh it and check. As you can see right now, mail is the correct format as well as the UPN, but some account name, it is still follow the out of the box rule that we have. Check another user. Oh, all good. So let's back to attribute mapping. So in here, as you can see, it's create, update, and delete the users. So it target these 3 tasks. So I'm going to already create a new attribute in here. This is mail nickname. So let's check what is inside mail nickname. So use append for family name and use first name, first character. So let's check the expression builder. So as you can see, it's a family name and given name, first character. How to do this? Let's check the expression builder. So when we use the expression builder, Microsoft, it has a very good document. It is learn more about building expressions. So if you click on that, it browses an article from Microsoft, and in here it has many examples. So you can find lots of examples and commands in here. I will share this link in the video description. And so right now it asks us for family name and given name. So let's get the family name, append to given name, which is first name, and it used the first character of the first name. So if I type family test in here and first name, when I press test, it uses family test F, which F is the first character of the given name or first name. So you need to check that Microsoft link to learn more about these expressions. Alright. So mail nickname, but mail nickname, it is for the organization that they have Exchange server extension on their Active Directory. I don't have mail nickname in my Active Directory. As you can see, it's always apply. It's not like mail or UPN only during object creation. It's always apply. So every time that we change the first name, last name, this attribute will be changed. So plus OK, and go to the script. Okay. First, sorry, I forgot to talk about this one. Employee ID or external ID. It is the primary way attribute that Entra ID use for matching the attribute. So we can change the first name, last name, UPN for user, everything. But if the external ID or employee ID remain same, it's a hard anchor for Entra ID to rematch the user and ensure this user is the same user. Let's check the attribute list. So we need three, as you can see, three attributes to create a user. And then external ID or employee ID is the primary key for this one. So we must have these three, and the primary key, it is the external ID. As you can see, we don't have anything else in here that we must have. The required is these three: ID, username, and external ID, which is the external ID is our primary one. So yeah, but for your organization maybe it's different. So we need to have a hard anchor. We need to have a primary key to match our user, to link our users. So let's go back to our script, run it again, check the Active Directory, Entra ID, it's provisioning. As you can see, we have 4 errors. Let's go to provision log and check for this error. This is one of the error, and it shows it couldn't update, failed to update. So which attribute we change? It's just mail, nickname, and account disable. Account disable always change. And summary. If we click on the troubleshooting and recommendation, it will tell us that mail nickname was not found actually. So why this happened? Let's check at our attributes in the Active Directory. Let's search for mail nickname. As you can see, we don't have mail nickname in here. So we try to update an attribute that it doesn't exist. As I said, these attributes belong to Exchange service. If we extend our schema with the Exchange command, we will have mail nickname, but we don't have it in here. So let's assign this to another attribute, network address. As you can see, it's empty. Let's go back to Entra ID and attribute mapping and change mail nickname. So select mail nickname and change it to network address. There are too many attributes in here now. Yep, network address. Click OK and save it. Let's go back to a script and run it again. Check provisioning. Still the errors are there, but they will be disappear. Provisioning logs, it takes few minutes for provisioning logs to disappear, so we need to wait for that. In the meantime, we can check maybe audit logs. Let's try again. Nope. Still it's not, they are not updated. So check the audit logs. So audit logs are good, they have been updated. So it's a time that we're on the script. So all of them are success. So let's check Active Directory again. for network address. Okay, yep, great. Network address attribute has been updated with family name and first character of first name. All right, in the last part of this video, we are going to talk about scope. Let's go to provisioning and provisioning again and a mapping. So what is scope? Probably we have some areas or some contractors in here like Australia. So I want to user that they are in Australia provision or update by another API or another system. I don't want this API update, delete, or provision the users inside Australia. So by scope, we can do that. Look, we have many options in here. Target attribute can be company name, department, even user with license or without license, the custom attribute that we created. So we have many options in here. Based on that, maybe it's a different company policy, maybe regulation, something like this. So we need to provision or manage these users differently. So we need to set the scope and not provision in here. As you can see, we have many operators, equal, not equal. So in here, I say user in Australia should not be provisioned by this API. So let's back to our CSV file. So I added two users that their country, it is Australia or AU. And the third user that I added, it is in France, Kelula. So it is in France. So when we run this, when we run the API provisioning, this script, it should just provision Kelula in France, not two users in Australia. So we run it and check the Active Directory. As you can see, this user, the user in France has been created by this API. Let's check the country, SEO, it is FR. So the two users haven't been provisioned because of the scope. So as you can see, so I'm going to change the user status to active for our French user and run the script again. This will update the status of this user. So let's check the Active Directory again. Kalula, refresh the ID, and as you can see, user has been enabled right now. So let's go to audit log. So as you can see, we have import in the audit log, and this is an AU user. So import is successful, but it doesn't create the user because of the scope. So we need to find the logs, audit log for not creating this user. And as you can see, this is the log for not creating this user. It is synchronization rule action. It's a no AU user. So if it's no AU, it's the user country is AU. So no AU user rule or scope has been applied to this user and does not create this user. So this is for our French user or FR user. This is the user that the country is AU. So due to this rule, no AU user API doesn't create it. We have some synchronization rule action. Some of them belong to our AU users in the AU and some of them for rest of the users. Alright, so let's back to the scope and delete the scope. Okay, save it and run the script again. So go to the script and run it again. So we had two users with AU country. So, but one user has been created, not two users, because one of the user, it has same information. User line 7 and user line 4 are same user because their work ID are same, so script doesn't create it and even doesn't update it. So in line 4, this user, it is in DA, the country name is DE, sorry. But in line 7, this user, it is the country, it is AU. So it doesn't even update the user. And this user country, it's AU, Australia. It has been created. Thank you for watching this video. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the groups and on-prem groups, because API provisioning, it doesn't support on-prem groups. So when we create groups, we cannot add it to on-prem groups, and most of the resources on-prem are group-based, or even many Entra ID resources are group-based, the groups that sync from on-prem to Entra ID. I will talk about that one, how we can add users after creation, add them to the proper groups on-prem, or add them to the proper group in Entra ID as well. But I will talk about this in user lifecycle and identity governance. So that time we will see how to assign access package to the users. Thank you very much, and see you on the next video.